everyone. How are you tonight? I'm okay. A little tired from today, but I'm okay. So as promised, we have our vase, and to cut out as much time as possible, I have to use the pause me video. Sorry. And I realized that if I turn the camera around facing the opposite direction, not facing me, so I can see what's going on, the letters are in the right order. Go figure. I don't know. I just don't have time to figure this out right now. So anyway, like I said, I want to show you again. This is the finished decoupage jar that was a recycled candle jar, and I just added a little bit of twine, and it turned out adorable. I mean, these things aren't always perfect, but that's not the point. It's that we are recycling them. If I was going to give it as a gift, I would probably be much more careful, but I knew this was for me, and it's for my rubber bands, so I'm very pleased with it. I think it's really nice. Anyway, so that's that. Okay, so now I want to talk to you about these napkins that I stole from my daughter. They're beautiful. Now, what I did earlier to save time, I put the napkins, like, let's just say 2 of them, but I had like a couple of them together and in the right direction. Let me lower this down. In the right direction, like this. And I cut the flower out is the best that I could, like so. I won't do the whole thing, but I cut the whole flower out, tried to keep it as even as possible with the 2 napkins together so that I could, in other words, after I was all done cutting out the flower, I had a whole bunch of flowers like this, and I can just peel them apart. Now remember, they're 3 ply, so if you only get 2 pieces off, I mean 1 piece off, and you think it's thin enough, I'm telling you, there is usually 99% of the time there is 1 more piece. So just be aware of that. So after you cut your flower out, and I'll just go ahead and do this real quick. A little trick that I do, it's kind of hard sometimes to get the napkins apart. So I kind of, some people use this tool that has a little bit of water. It's like an eyedropper, and it has water inside the dropper, and they tear their napkin. Well, they use the dropper to go around the part that they want to cut out, and they kind of rip it or tear it, and it seems like the napkin will come apart easier. But I don't have one of those, and I honestly don't think I need it, because I just use my fingers and I wet the napkin, and it takes a little time and effort, but it does come apart. So you see how I'm just like cutting out the part that I want to go onto the jar. This is what we do. I know this one's going to be kind of messy, but so you have this, and then you have 1, and then you have another 1 piece, and then you have like 2 or 3 flowers that you get out from these couple of napkins that you cut together. So my point is, cut them out with a bunch of like 2 or 3 napkins together so that you can, it's easier, because you can just, you can do a whole bunch together instead of cutting 1 napkin at a time. Now I'm going to show you how I can kind of pull this apart. Okay, it's like this one is giving me a little bit hard time. So just kind of watch and you'll see there is, wish I had better eyes. There's one ply and I'm wetting it, and this one's coming off very easy. There we go. There you have it. So we have another flower. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is we have to paint it, and we're going to use this Waverly white chalk paint. So we're going to paint the vase first. So I think it always seems better when you paint it. And that's what we're going to do. Now, do you have to paint it? No. But I'm thinking that it's just better if you have a little bit of paint on here, because if something seeps through the napkin, it'll have the white paint coming through, not the clear glass. Because remember how I did that one with the this one we just did with the orange? It kind of looked like a glaze, a frosting, and I did not like that look at all. It's just not what I was looking for. So as you see, I am just painting this, and I'll be back. Hello everyone. Boy, nothing like watching paint dry. I'm pretty sure this is dry enough that we can work with it. And if it isn't, oh well. I think I'm going to leave it upside down to start. So let's get started. Okay, we have our decoupage. We have our tissues that are already cut and ready to go. Don't forget, they're 3-ply. You have to take them apart. And we have our Mod Podge. It is Mod Podge Matte M-A-T-T-E water-based sealer, glue, and finish. And we have our brush. And I like to use a little bit of a bigger brush. I'll show you. Like this size. A little bit bigger. Okay. And during this time, I will be quiet because all I'm going to do is self-explanatory, and I probably will put a low, quiet music on. I am going to lower the volume as much as possible, but just watch and let's see what we can do for tonight. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're just going to keep adding the tissue paper, napkins, whatever you want to call them, to the vase until it's completely filled. And gently tap on the material or the paper with your fingers, or as you see, I'm using the saran wrap. That seems to work pretty good when you're trying to smooth it out, and it keeps it from sticking. If you use your fingers, sometimes it sticks. Now, sometimes I want to warn you that you'll get bubbles, and you can try to smooth them out with the saran wrap like I'm doing right now, but you may still have bubbles. But don't worry about it, because at the very end, when you use a sealer, a lot of that can be covered up. So don't worry about it. If you see that I have some spots left, I'm just kind of adding some decoupage to the free space and filling it in with the paper. It's a very relaxing thing to do, this decoupage. It's very relaxing and keeps your mind free from any outside thoughts that aren't so good, if you know what I mean. And as you see, my baby Charlie, he's in the background. He loves to watch me do my crafting, as long as he doesn't have to go out. I'm using the saran again to press it down. Sometimes you have to add a little bit of extra decoupage glue just to get some of them little edges to stay down, because if you can't, it's so, the tissue paper is so thin that it's just really hard to get all the little edges down. Okay, now I'm just going to finish up with the little spots that are left. Sometimes you have to get another piece of saran wrap, because the decoupage glue that sticks on there ends up messing up your flowers if you have too much glue stuck on the saran wrap. Filling in the last spot, and when I am all done, I will tell you how we will finish this off at the end of the video. It takes maybe a day or two to dry. I like to wait a day, and then we can add a sealer, which is like a spray, which you want to use outside. I'm hoping that this isn't taking too long for you. I think that you have pretty much the idea of how to do this. It's really a lot of fun. Okay, it's not quite done. Sorry if you didn't like the music, but I just wanted to give you the general idea of what we are doing here. As you see, you have to be very gentle with this tissue paper. As you see that some of my spots came off because of my fingers. It's very sticky, but don't fret because honestly, these things always work out. So I am going to, off camera, I'm going to finish all the spots in, and then once I'm done filling in all the spots, I kept some of this trim, and I'm going to put some of the trim on the very top. This is the top of the vase. I think that'll look really pretty. And I'm going to give it another coat and let it dry. After it dries, I'll give it another coat. And then I have a special sealer spray that I'm going to put on. And I think it's going to turn out nice. So even though this is kind of hard to work with and it takes time, I haven't done this in about 6 months. This saran wrap helps to smooth it out, and I think my problem is some of that paint may have been a little wet, but it will turn out, I promise. It helps to just smooth out the tissue paper without ripping it. So I will be back tomorrow, and like I said, I'm going to put the trim around it. Maybe I should let you see. I am going to put this pretty trim around the top part of it. I hope it works out. And that's basically it. That's what you do. And after it dry, I'm going to put about one more coat. After everything is adhered and everything is covered, I'm going to put one more coat. Once it dries, then I'm going to take it outside and spray a sealer. And I will show you that tomorrow off the Pause Me video, so you can actually see the can and it's not upside down. So this is going to turn out really nice, I promise you. So thank you, Tiffany, my daughter, for giving me her napkins out of the basement. You guys have a wonderful evening, and please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you can be notified when I upload another video. And guess where I'm going? Say goodnight, Charlie. Say goodnight, Gracie. Say goodnight. We're going to go to bed, yes. Charlie is very tired. He's ready for bed. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Good night.